Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our next Fast Track to SC Team YOLO call. Super honored to be standing in for Lauren to do this call. And tonight's speaker is someone who literally I've been recommended to endlessly. So that's pretty cool. It's always really nice for other people in the team to say to me, hey, this is someone I've been following for a while. Like, can you check them out? And then lo and behold, I go and follow them. And I'm like, how did this person hit my radar? Like, what? Clearly my research skills need to get better. So tonight's speaker is a wonderful woman from Canada, and since it was Canadian Day yesterday, it figured in my head that we should have a Canadian speaker. I hope you all think like me. But Kimberlea Masters is an SSC. She's in Canada on the West Coast, and she's just giving tips already to Jenny, who's in my team on the East side of Canada, about how to, grow more of a business on the East side and how she's going over there to do events. So it's already amazing. I can already see that you're really a woman that comes from a place of love and wants to just connect with people in this business. And like me, I massively believe in sideline support, and I love your heart. I love how already you're like, Jenny, I'll help you. I love that so much. So thank you already. But Kimberlea Masters is a survivor of domestic violence and addiction who 2 years ago found herself a divorced single mom of 3 kids. She was overweight, unhappy, and unhealthy. So she found a new way, and it found health, happiness, and freedom, most importantly. And in the process, she lost over 45 pounds, has overcome all of her health conditions, found an inner strength that she didn't know existed until she started this Juice Plus business. Not only did she start it, but she rocketed very quickly. So super excited. I had a chat with Kimberlea yesterday, and we decided that she would do secrets to success in terms of social media and the Shred 10, because she says that they're the 2 things that massively excel her business in the way that it is now. And obviously, we love hearing about the Shred. The Shred is, ever since, I think it's been changed to Shred 10, if any of you are around since the T30 days. I do think it has a hell of a lot more success. And I mean, it's always great for us to hear how people are really making it work. And we must be ambassadors of our health first and foremost, or how can you ever expect that other people would be attracted to you? And I don't mean physically, I mean in your health. So thank you, Kimberlea, for doing this call for us. I'm super excited to hear your tips. I'm gonna let you take it away, and then we'll do questions at the end.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you guys for reaching out, and I'm so excited to do this call. My story's pretty standard. So I was in a marriage, and there was addiction issues and domestic abuse, and I was working part-time at a grocery store, and I kind of got the strength to leave, but then didn't really know what I was going to do. And so I was very down on myself. I was overweight, super unhealthy. I have thyroid problems, endometriosis, eczema, allergies, the whole 9 yards. And so I wanted to get healthy, but I didn't think at the time I was trying to get healthy. I thought I was trying to lose weight. And I use this in my tags all the time, is people always think they're going to lose weight to get healthy. And I've realized in this process that you have to get healthy in order to lose weight. And so I did some research, and I was actually talking to Lauren about this when she was up here in Canada a little bit ago. And I found somebody on Facebook, and I started following them, and I wanted to be like them. And I reached out and I said, hey, I want to get this Juice Plus stuff in Canada. Is it available? And then there was crickets. They never got back to me. They never followed up with me. They never answered my message. And I kept seeing posts about Juice Plus, and I wanted to try it. So I went on the Facebook in the little search bar, and I searched Juice Plus Canada, and my upline popped up. And so I sent her a message, and she instantly got back to me and started building a relationship with me. And I ended up signing up that day and buying all of the product, and I fell in love. So my first 6 months in the business, I really wasn't engaged. I was, just taking the product, doing a little research. I was trying to find out as much as I could, which, as we know, the more you know, the slower you grow. There's lots of taglines that you hear over and over again, and they're so true. And so I kind of just was sharing with a couple friends. I didn't want to be that crazy Juice Plus lady. So, I went really slow my first 5 or 6 months in the business. And then I had a major catastrophe happen in my life where I lost my full-time job, and I found out my new partner had gone into addiction and was cheating on me. So that was at the beginning of October last year. and I just kind of had ways what's going to happen, and I decided to go all in with the Juice Plus business. And I went to conference in October, and I fell in love. And I set a goal of becoming an NMD, and I've had that goal in my sights ever since. And so the goal is to actually accomplish this by this October. So I will have done it in a year and a half, but really in a year because I didn't really work that for 6 months. So what I did was I plugged into events. I started following people who I wanted to emulate, and I just looked for all of those keys to success that they talk about. So success is always going to leave clues. And if you're following and paying attention and keeping notes and keeping track, then, you can learn from the best. Some of the other things they say to do over and over again is to be consistent. To get comfortable being uncomfortable. That was the number one thing. When I was having the worst day possible and I felt like my life was caving in, those are the days that I made the hardest phone calls to people that were in my list. Those chicken calls. It was like, I'm already feeling crappy. It's gonna happen if they say no. And then most of the time they actually say yes, and that would cheer my day up and make it better. And I just found by plugging in and connecting with as many people as possible, I heard lots of different stories. So when I was talking to people, I was able to share from the heart real experiences that I could say, oh, I met a lady named such and such at conference, and she was suffering from this same thing that you were, and be able to connect them in. And just, having that great support network really, really helped. My social media quick tips are pretty quick and easy, but follow the leader. Follow someone that you want to be like, and follow them on Facebook. There's actually a button where you can hit to follow them first. And so you see them at the top. So I followed Lauren, I followed Linda, I followed Olivia Charlotte Measures. I followed a couple of the Canadian ladies, and I just followed the people that I could see myself being like. Because there you have it again, success leaves clues. Being consistent, putting your Facebook as a source of intrigue and inspiration. So I'm not going to plaster Juice Plus on my thing, but I'm going to actually show that I live a healthy lifestyle, and that I'm just a single mom like everybody else, and that's something that's duplicatable. If I'm a doctor talking about all of the medical degrees I have, that's not relatable to the people that I associate with. But I'm just a mom that goes to baseball practices with my kids, and I can easily tell the other moms what I'm doing and share from the heart, and they can follow suit. So I post a lot of my life. I'm kind of an open book. I went from being the girl that wouldn't actually host a birthday party because I was scared no one would show up, to the crazy, loud and proud Juice Plus lady that tells everybody what's going on and invites people to a million events. And I don't have a fear of there only being 2 people at my events. I heard Katie Wren share when she first met John Holowati, there was only 2 people in the room. And that story inspired me, because I was like, well, if he can go from having 2 people in the room to filling a room like standing room only, then what's to say I can't do that too? Because he's just an everyday guy, just like I'm an everyday girl. So I scroll my Facebook with intent. I don't get stuck in the scroll hole. I look for people that are my target audience. So other moms that maybe are posting that their kids are always sick, other moms that are, trying all kinds of different weight loss products. I notice that. And those are the people that I put on my will talk to list. And then if I have an afternoon with nothing to do, I'll send them a message and I'll say, hey, I noticed your daughter's been sick the past couple of weeks. We'd like to have coffee sometime because I found a product that might be able to help you. Hey, they might say no, but you never know, they might say yes. And the next time their kid's sick, they're going to remember you and think, hey, that Kim lady messaged me. Maybe she's got a secret and my kid won't be sick again. And then you just funnel them all into being. And then when they sign up, they join our shred. So I'm going to give you guys my shred trick, which I absolutely love. So I built my business pretty much solidly on the shred 10. So I don't know if you guys do over there, but we try to aim for a 5-1 here in Canada. That's what we're taught when we start, looking for 5 new customers a month and 1 new rep. I took that and I made it into a system with my shred. I think May I did a 22.8 in just May. So I'm using Facebook to create that intrigue, and I'm funneling the people into the shred. So how I do it is I break it down by month. So from the 1st of the month to the 15th of the month, I try to get my 5 to 10 new customers. I try to do it at the beginning of the month so that between the 15th and the 25th, they get their new products and they can start taking the product before we start the shred. I found that that's really important to minimize any detox that they might have, because sometimes when they start the product, they have that healing cycle, so that, you know, we don't want them 3 days into the shred to have massive headaches and migraines and their acne breaks out because they're healing and then they give up. So they've had that little buffer before we start our shred to start the product, which I find really helps. My trick is between the 25th and the 30th of the month, I call all of the customers that I've signed up and I ask them if they want to sign up for the discount. I do it in a little bit of a sneaky way in which I say, hey, Sally, I totally forgot to tell you about the discount program. You know how you signed up at the beginning of the month and you're paying this much a month? Well, if you sign up today, before the end of the month, it's kind of your last chance to get the discount, and you'll get this much money back in 2 weeks. I do this because in Canada, we found it was really hard to sell a trio blend and complete and then ask them to pay $50 for the discount. You know, people are really struggling with money sometimes, and I found if I broke it up and then they get their commission check closer to when they sign up, it's a little softer of a blow. So then we've sold them the discount. So of the 5 to 10 new customers I've got, usually 2 to 4 sign up for the discount. And maybe one of them will work the business, maybe all 4, you never know. So then they start the shred at the beginning of the next month. And I said I could add people to my shred group. I ran it really, really customer focused shred. I think I do 6 posts a day, and I do a live at 5 every day on my shred. I go live. And I use an auto post generator. So I load all of my posts the Sunday before. So they auto post throughout the day. Smoothies, exercises, motivation stuff, nutritional content, teaching them a little bit of what's going on. And then depending, people have had questions in the day, that will be the topic for the live at 5. So if someone says, oh, I don't know how to do gluten-free, then the topic at the live at 5 will be something based on that. And if nobody has a question, I'll make a question up and pretend like someone private messaged it to me. And I'll say, oh, someone today had a question about, and that'll be my topic for my live at 5. So at the end of the 10-day shred, I do my follow-up. So I'll call the customers and I'll say, hey, how did you like the shred? You know, have you had any results? What can you tell me? Would you or could you share this on your Facebook page? And then I say, and have you told anybody what you're doing? Is anybody interested? And the person usually says something like, oh yeah, I was telling Barb at work and she's totally interested. And I was telling my Aunt Sue and Aunt Sue's interested. So there's where you're opening that opportunity to sell them the business. So you say, oh, I can talk to Barb and Sue and maybe we can all get together for coffee or a phone call and we can introduce them to the shred. And so hopefully you can get those Barb and Sue to sign up under your new customer distributor. And then, so that's going to make them the first level in Canada, which is a direct distributor. So that gets them their first promotion. And then, so you're going to repeat that process with the new Barb and Sue. And when they get 2 customers, you've now made your first customer a VF. And you just repeat the process every month with your existing reps and your new customers. And then you're just using the shred every month to grow your business. And it's worked really, really well because you're constantly attracting new people on Facebook yourself. Plus the new people are bringing new people in and your group just keeps going. And I always just run one master Facebook group for my team and everyone under just adds in. And then once they hit S, they usually branch off and they start their own team page. So I just promoted an SC last month. And so now she's kind of running her own shred and following the same duplicatable system in her own business. And so it's worked really well. And I've just really embraced being the Crazy Juice Plus lady. I mean, Lauren always says loud and proud. And the Shelly Mackey, she's another loud and proud, just everyday mom. And we're just rocking it. And, you know, the only thing that can really hold you back is you. And if you're scared to share it, then you're not going to grow your business. And so I'm just loud and proud and loving it and rocking the business here in Canada.
Awesome. That was so great. So do you do a shred every month?
I do a shred every month. Some months I actually run 2 shreds.
Some months you do 2 shreds.
Yeah. Yeah. So some months I run a shred at the beginning of the month, and then I'll do another shred at the end of the month. Because we're funding so many people, and some people get their product and that's to start. So we just run a second shred. And we do a reset. So we empty the shred posts and we reset it, reload it into the auto post app, and then run it again. And it pretty much runs itself. I have an alarm on my phone that goes off at 5 o'clock every day to remind me to do a live at 5. And it works. And sometimes I do my live at 5s on my personal page just to generate interest. And I'll start it off saying, hey, I normally do these lives at 5 on my shred group. Funnels more people into wanting to know what the shred is. What do you use to auto post? I use Buffer to auto post. I know there's Hootsuite, and then there's also Post My Party. There's a few of them that you can. I love Buffer because Buffer, I have my Instagram, my personal page, my business page, my team page, and I can just post whatever wherever I want, and it works really well.
Buffer is definitely the easiest. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I have 100 questions. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing, so insightful. So in terms of so you don't really. So in terms of going at people from a a business prospect kind of point of view, you don't really do that. You normally just get customers and then you turn them into distributors.
Yeah, it depends on the person. Like there's been a few who I could tell would be super interested in the business to start. Okay. But other ones that they're just like, oh, I just want to try the product. I could never do what you do. I'm too shy, and those ones, it's kind of easing them in, because sometimes if you sell them everything all at once, I found that they backed away. And it's kind of, I kind of find it a little sneaky and sly, where it's just kind of easing them into it naturally, and it's worked really well.
So also another question I have for you is then, so how do you find these people to ask about the Shred 10? Is it purely through just building relationships in person and then on Facebook?
Yeah, so in person, so people see me at baseball, and baseball's nice because it runs 3 months in the spring. I lost my weight from May until December. So when I came back to baseball, everybody's like, holy cow, where'd you go? Because I weighed 45 pounds less. So people just who knew me in my life, they all were like, what are you doing? How are you doing it? But on Facebook, when I started my business, I think I had 400 Facebook friends. And one of the girls here in Canada, she has add 5 a day rule. So she adds 5 new people on Facebook every day, people she has mutual common friends with. I did that for 2 weeks after doing one of those meditation abundance type prayers. And within 2 weeks, I started getting 20 to 100 friend requests a day. So I went from 400 friends on Facebook to, I think I have 4,200 Facebook friends and 1,200 followers. And like-minded. I go through them. I don't add the creepy creepers or whatever. I look for moms. I look for people who look like they're interested in fitness, or people that look like they could benefit from the product. So it's kind of selective adding. You're not just wanting to add everybody who sends your friend requests, because you do tap out at 5,000. So if you're full, you're going to tap yourself out. But just being consistent and making those non-negotiables. I add 5 every day. If they're not mine adding, I'm accepting 5. And you get the attrition, so some people drop off, but all of it's attraction. I'm not really doing anything other than posting my life and posting my results.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just sharing.
And so, what's your opinion on using more than one social media platform? Do you think you should stick to one until you've completely bossed that?
Or find the one that works for you. I was running both Facebook and Instagram, and I found Instagram was just great for my lifestyle posts, but I wasn't getting the response to build my business. Whereas Facebook, I was getting the real interactions and I was getting the actual relationship building. So people were messaging me, asking me advice. People were interacting way more. Instagram, it was just, an ego boost. People were liking my posts, but I wasn't getting any actual leads.
Yeah. Facebook is 100%. I'm a big believer in this. I'm pretty big on Instagram in terms of, because I'm a model and my career relies on that in so many ways. But at the same time, it's not a relationship building business. Like if I have anyone find me for, our team is called Healthy and Empowered. If I find anybody from that, I straight away get them on my Facebook, and I swear by that, because Instagram is not a relationship building business, and I can't add them into any group or anything. Like I can't send voice notes. Like it is way more difficult to use, and that's done intentionally. Facebook are very clever. They own two, and they've created two separate accounts for a reason, so
no, Facebook, I swear by Facebook. I'm on there all day. So but some people have said they've tried Pinterest and they've tried LinkedIn. Those are, I don't know if they're big over there as well, but I have not had any success, and I'm not stupid. If it's working, I'm not going to change it. I'm only going to make it better.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So I saw a question come up. I don't know where it went.
It said, what about doing Shred 10 every 10 days, 3 to 4 shed groups?
I wouldn't recommend that, simply because you'll get in the problem just with the cow. Get a shred that has 2 weekends, and people are really hard with giving up their alcohol and their Saturday morning coffee. So if you're sticking 2 weekends in there, you're almost setting people up to fail on the shred. I really love running the shred Monday to Wednesday, because Monday to Friday, people are super committed. The weekend can be hard, but then you can pick them up for the last 3 days with an encouragement post on Monday morning. Say, hey, you know what? If you messed up on the weekend, it's okay. We're all human. Progress, not perfection, and start over. If you put 2 weekends in there, you're going to get people falling off the wagon.
Agreed. Does that answer you, Andreas? Does anyone else have any questions?
I was actually watching that, like I said, the video that you made on Canada Day, and you said something about 10-20, like 10-20 ratio.
Yeah, so 90-10 or 80-20. I am not on a shred. I am 80 or 90% whole food based, eating by the shred, and 10 to 20% fuck it. So I lived the shred 8 months straight. That's how I lost my weight. But it's hard. Like, you have to have really good willpower. But if you don't set yourself up for failure and you say, you know what, I'm an 80-20 eater or a 90-10 eater, you're letting yourself have that 10% indulgence where you're like, okay, 90% of the time I'm going to eat healthy. 10% of the time I'm going to biff it. And that's okay. So it's just giving your permission to have the indulgence as a treat, as opposed to, and I hate the word cheat day. I hate it. I think that it makes it so negative, and our minds don't like to process negative. So it's an indulgence day. I do great with my diet 90% of the time. So I'm going to go have ice cream with my kids, and I walk there to get it, which makes it better for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going to ask, on the recruiting side of things, what do you do? Do you get them onto a Zoom or a three-way call, or would you, I suppose it depends on the person. If you were to send them a link, which would be the best link that you would send?
For which? Sorry, repeat the question.
So on the recruitment side of things, I think it depends on the person that you're speaking to, what you do, whether you do a three-way call or you do get them to, if they're cool with going on a Zoom call, or if you were sending a link, which would be the best link that you would send?
For them, honestly, it's basically one-on-one for most of them, because I'm just taking them from a customer with a discount to a customer with a couple friends joining them. And I ease them into the business that way. There are people that I can tell are super motivated after the shred, and then I'll deal with it differently, where I will have a three-way with my upline, or I use do you guys have the Freedom Revolution website?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Freedom Revolution website has those videos on the main page, and you can plug them in, and there's a video pretty much for any walk of life, and they're amazing. But yeah, it's all dependent on the person, because you don't want to overwhelm them with something if they're just like, oh, I only have 2 friends, I can't do what you do. Those people, I just it's almost like you hold their hand. I don't babysit people, but I'll lead them, because I'll hold their dream and say, okay, well, I can kind of see you doing this and you're having success, so let's get you a couple people underneath you and see if you can take off. And then those people, then you get them on a Zoom later. So if I get one lady and she gets her 2 friends in, and they're all, that's she's got her DD, and then maybe those 2 get 2 more. Now she's getting close to VF. I'll hook her into a Zoom call, because we're doing a 90-day game plan over here, and there's Zoom calls like 4 nights a week right now. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Does anybody else?
Yes, I have a question. So Kimberlea, when you find somebody that is interested in the product, you don't do you don't pull somebody else in from your upline or sideline?
If they're just in, if they're just in
the product of the business side too. To explain
the business side.
If they're kind of on the shaky side, like some people say, oh, that sounds good, but I don't know if that's for me. So we usually put them into a 3-way call with upline or sideline, whoever you feel like would be a good match.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So if I'm just selling them on the discount first, it's usually easier, because then I'm like, you don't have to work the business at all. I'm just trying to save you money. And then when I'm getting them to bring 2 friends in at the shred, because I have a post I do, it's more fun to shred with friends than it is to shred alone. And that just it gets their feet wet with the business. And then you can kind of test them a bit there. And it's all dependent on the person. I don't like to bring the 3-way call in and overwhelm them, because they run away. And I find I lose more people that way than I gain. So I just took the softer, gentler approach. And I learned that in recovery, of all things. Just take a softer, gentler way. And it's just kind of give them what they can handle. I love 3-way connection calls. I had a lady who was really resistant to the product. And then one day out of the blue, she said, yeah, I want to try the product. I knew she'd be great for the business. So I did it in a sneaky way, where I don't ask them to do a 3-way call. I do it as a customer care call. So I'll get Alyssa and I'll say, hey, I'm calling this lady for customer care, and we're going to do it this way. So we call in her and I'm like, hey, Susanna, it's Kim. I was just telling my girlfriend Alyssa about all the success you're having with the product, and I totally wanted to introduce you. Her and I work together in Juice Plus, and she loves hearing success stories. So now Alyssa's going to come in and she's going to ask Suzanne about the great product. How come she didn't start it? And, isn't it fantastic? And then she's going to whip the business in and just kind of say, oh, you should join Kimberlea's team. So instead of going, hey, you want to do a 3-way when people say no, we just do it as a customer care call.
I actually think that your way is genius, because I find a lot of people get intimidated with these 3-way calls, and then they hear the structure of the business and what are your goals, how much money do you want to make, and just
it's too much.
Yes, the thought alone for a lot of people to own their own business is already overwhelming.
Yeah.
So with all the other stuff, I've lost several people, and I know it's because of that, because they don't have that business owner mind. They are very intimidated by thinking they own a business now, and so I think your way of
and it shows them the power of sharing, because it's saying, okay, you had a really great time doing the shred. Who would like to do the shred with us? And then they're bringing in the friends, and they're not being pressured into calling 10 people. They're just kind of getting the like-minded structure built, and it seems to be better. I saw so many people. Do you know how many people message me asking me to join their business? And I'm like, no, but hey, I got a business. You can come on over to me. I've actually switched 2 girls, and they were trying to recruit me. I'm like, I don't like the hard sell. I don't like being pushy, and I found way more success doing it softer.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I'm going to try it this way.
Yeah, and I mean,
because
it's not sneaky. It's just softer. You know, it's like, hey, I'm just calling to do my follow-up call. I was telling my girlfriend about you, and, you know, she wants to ask about, you know, whatever, because I'll know a background story that I can tell my upline.
Right.
So it's really working.
That's awesome. And what do you do with people that don't answer their phone, and they don't answer the text, and they don't reply at anything? You ask them, you know, do you have those people too?
I do. A lot of people don't, because I'm not pushy. But I do have one right now, and she committed to buying the product, said next payday. And now I see that she's read it, because her little face comes up on Messenger.
Yes.
I just, you know, every 2 weeks, I still send her a follow-up message. I don't give up. And I'm not pushy. I'm just like, oh, hey, you know, I remember that you were interested. You know, I'm just wondering if you've changed your mind, like more information. Yes. And I just keep loving on them with no pressure. I just did
that with a customer. She's a new customer. She's just been on the product for 4 months, and I needed to get in touch with her before the product ships out again, to make sure she's, you know, how she's doing and everything. She was in India 4 months, so it was really hard to get in contact with her. But I'm like, oh my God, what else? How else can I word it to get her attention, you know? And so I just wrote like in third person, you know, been trying to get in touch with this very busy mama, you know, and she laughed and answered back finally. I'm like, okay, humor, you know, so you kind of have to find.
And I just like, honestly, the soft approach. Hey, you know, I remembered you were interested. I know you're super busy. School's been busy. Like you just relate with it, right? I'm super busy with school and baseball, or you can even say, hey, I totally forgot to follow up with you last week, and make it like it's your fault. And then they feel less threatened by it.
Yes. That's awesome. The other thing I really like is that you opt for people to be on the product first, to get their detox in before they do the shred, because I always find older people that have stomach issues already, it's so hard to put them on the shred, because you know they're going to crash, because they have so much toxicity in their body. So I think that's really awesome. So
and then if I think that they have a lot going on too, I don't necessarily introduce them to the shred right away. I'm like, my talks now are the 4 pillars of health. So nutrition, hydration, rest, and movement. So we take out exercise and we call it movement. It's the same thing, but it's less scary. So it's just proper nutrition, getting lots of water, getting a good night's sleep, and moving. And it's a softer approach. And then we ease them into the shred later.
Okay, sounds awesome.
Yeah. Trial and error.
Can you put me on your shred list?
Yeah.
Be awesome. Because I would love to see the interaction you have with people.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'll tell you, if you have a shred group and nobody's responding, keep posting. They are looking. They are paying attention. I've done shreds with 120 people, and not one of them will comment or interact, but they like the posts, and I know they're seeing them. And then at the end, I'll get a private message from somebody I didn't even know was participating, saying how happy they are. So yes, I can, Diana.
Okay, awesome.
If we're not friends on Facebook, Diana, find me.
That's awesome. So I think from a question I had is then, so do you get them to order 2 boxes of shakes or just 1 box?
Get them to order 1 box. The reason is twofold. One is price, because everybody's always like, oh, what's the price? But the other reason is, if you're doing a shred, you're going to run out, and it's better to stagger your shipments every 2 months anyways.
So say that again. How do you do it?
So they only order 1 box of shakes when they start. You get 1.
Okay.
Yeah, the shred package comes with 8 bags. 8 bags. So you get 1 order of 4 bags. because I like to stagger my orders anyways because I run out. So every 2 months I get an order of shakes. It just staggers it.
Yes.
So
And then plus you can get them ordering on the 10th. I always like to get my distributors to order their own product on the 10th because then they're getting paid on the 10th. So it cancels out and they don't notice.
Okay.
So once they sign up for the discount, all the orders go in on the 10th because then they're getting their payment out and their check the same day.
So you count the you say the discount, which is the the bonus that they get. Bonus.
Yeah. So even if they order between the 1st and the 9th, I process all orders on the 10th.
Gotcha.
So that it helps. Like every little thing that you can do to make it easier, like money-wise for people, I just trial and error, and these little tricks have just really helped me.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Do you not find though when someone, if they order on the 1st and you haven't put the order through yet, do you not find that they're asking you where their order is?
I always tell them it's going to arrive between the 15th and the 25th.
So you warn them.
Yeah.
Okay, nice, makes sense.
Unless they're super eager and I'm going to run the mid-month shred. But yeah, I try to get all the orders in on the 10th. Plus in Canada, like everybody orders a month because most of the time there are people trying to, qualify, and shipping takes forever the last week of the month because the warehouse is so busy. So it's easier to get them to ship at the middle of the month. The product comes faster.
I don't find that here in the States. I mean, a lot of times 4 or 5 days and the product is shipped. So
yeah, usually we get our product in 2 or 3 days, but if you order the last week of the month, it takes like 7 days.
Okay.
But we have only 2 shipping centers in all of Canada. I don't know how many you guys have in the States. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I will just make a note. If you're in Europe and you're watching this call, the boxes of shakes are different in the UK and in Europe than they are in Canada. In Canada, they only get 4 bags. And I think, how many servings do you get in each bag?
30.
I get like 20, 25, depending.
Servings in each bag.
In each bag.
Oh, right, okay.
Now, by us, it's ours is 30 in each bag. We get 4 bags, and or is it 15? No, it's 15 in each bag.
Yeah, I can usually get, we're using the small scoop. I don't know. We got a smaller scoop now. But I can usually stretch it to 20 to 25.
Okay.
For my shakes.
Yeah.
But I do loaded shakes. Like I add lots of greens and veggies and stuff. So.
Yeah.
I know German because I have customers in Germany, and when they order the shakes, it's a ton more money, but they get they get the full 60 packs of shakes for or actually 120 servings of shakes for 4 months.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so expensive, because they were like shocked. They're like, oh my God. So
it's not, honestly, I don't think it's the UK is pretty much same price as Europe and as Germany in terms of euro and pound. I don't see it as expensive. For me, it's £1 per shake. That's kind of how it works out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how I'd break it down for your customers. And some training that I've given my team recently, I actually, this was a couple months ago, but if you are saying that everybody's saying the product's expensive, you need to change the language that you have, because if you believe the product is expensive in Germany because it looks like it is because you're in America, then every single customer that you have in Germany is going to think it's expensive. So you need to reprogram that in yourself and be like, actually, the product is affordable. I wouldn't say cheap. You don't want anything in your life to be cheap, but I would say the product is affordable and it's worth the money. And you can compare it, to, if you really want to compare it to a protein whey shake. I know there's a ton, especially in Europe, like probably even more in America, but there's so many here right now that are popping off every other corner. And, you just say, look, our ingredients are natural. And I always tell people, like, I have mine with just almond milk, or, I always tell people you don't even need to mix them as a smoothie. Like, you don't need to even spend that extra money on the ingredients if that's what you're after, because the taste is good enough. So my recommendation for you is to just really shift the way that you see that, and break it down for people. Say, hey, look, I might look like I pay less if that's what they're saying, but I actually get a hell of a lot less more product than you. Your product's going to last you longer, which means, actually, and you can even just like lie and say, hey, you know what? I actually prefer the way they do it in Germany. Like, because then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, so I've got the better end of the deal. And it's all about, making the customer, make them feel like they're winning always. For me, I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Somebody said, when you say put in order on the 10th, are you actually doing it on the 10th, or are you saying up on the virtual office on the 10th?
Oh, you can do it ahead of time and set it up for the 10th. I write them down and do them on the 10th because I'm technically challenged and I'll forget to hit the right button. I forget to change distributor numbers all the time too. I do them all on the 10th myself, but you could set it up ahead of time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like this software.
Any little tricks and tips work for me, man.
I like this. I mean, personally, for me, the cold approach has got 90% of my team on board. It's worked very well for me, but I do think, I've struggled, I suppose, in the past with my team, some of my team that turn around and go, oh, but I can't, like, I don't want to do that. Like, and it's true. Like, I am a different person. Like, I'm blunt and I'm honest and I'm straight up and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. This is how I do it. And I show my team constantly, the conversations that I'm having, and they're always like, wow, like, how are you just so blunt and upfront and telling someone what you're doing? And I'm like, well, because that's just who I am. But this approach, I think, definitely for people that are shyer, for people that have anxiety, for people that, don't want to take that kind of approach. I think your soft approach is 100% the way to go. I mean, for me, like, I personally, I definitely want to try it, and there's definitely things that I want to take from this. But I will still do my cold approach because it works from a recruiting aspect. But the places I've been lately is customers, because I don't get customers from a cold approach. So, like, this is like excellent for finding customers that are, you know what I mean? Because, like, I don't know how people find customers on a cold approach, to be honest. Like, from a completely off, like, hi, do you want to buy my product? Like, that's the most off-putting thing in the world for me. And it is a relationship. So I do think that for sure, like, I can totally see why this works for you, and I can totally see why people would want to be part of it. So it makes sense.
Well, and it's comes to duplication. Like, for you, it's super great for you to do the cold approach because it works so well for you. For me, if I do that with everyone, it would kill my team, because they'd be like, I can't do what you do. And it's like, well, I couldn't do it either before, but this is what I did to get to this point, is I built my confidence slowly. And it's just holding that dream for them till they can get to where you and I are. We're like, hey, loud and proud, come on over. Right. It works really well for us.
Yeah. I mean,
Jenny, did you have any more questions? Is she still on?
Jenny, are you on? Yeah, she's there.
Yeah, I'm still on. My mind is just like processing. Like, I actually got to go back and watch this call a couple times because I still like have so many things. I
mean, Jenny. So maybe, obviously, because Jenny's approach has really trickled down from mine. So Jenny's my second line. But I know that we've worked on Jenny finding newer kind of approaches through the method that I've used. Because I've always been someone, like, my mum can tell you, because she was the only one in my team. Well, my mum's my upline. She was the only one that watched me do it absolutely terribly at the beginning. Like, I was just doing Juice Plus over people. Like, you can take this because I feel amazing. If you don't take it, like, that's really silly, or wow, you're really stupid. And I don't know how, but I got to SC like that. I don't know how, but very quickly.
Oh my gosh.
And it works because people have always known me to be someone that I am honest, and I am an integral person, and I am like, I just go ahead, and I don't really care if people say no to me. I'm like, whatever, I'm going to do it anyway. And I drove with the fact that people would tell me, oh, you're never going to do that, nothing's ever going to become of you. I used to be like, watch me, like, yeah, I will. But it's funny because then when I stopped my business, the customers stayed for, let's say, like 8 months, and then they just kind of dropped off. So I do think my initial kind of like approach, and it it wasn't a long lasting approach. It lasted for like 10 months and then it just went off because I didn't work my business for 6 of those months. So when I built it, I really had to look at it from a, how can I do it? And everything I've done has just been really me duplicating other NMD friends that I've had that I've just made my own and like our own way. But I think
that's right.
Jenny, and I think, I don't know, Jenny, if you want to share kind of how you took that approach to you. I know we really worked on the fact that you were a mum, but I know that you weren't kind of like totally comfortable with it at the beginning. Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm still having issues between like just connecting with people and like template, like, because I'm not having no luck with template barely. I mean, the people that I have on my team and the customers I have, like a couple of them, yes, I've got all from template and I've built those relationships and just really love on people. Because like I just took my 2 team members that are here in Canada to DD, like we all went together, like I got 2 promotions in 1 month and they got theirs, like, because that was how I wanted it. I wanted us all to go together and that's how I plan on trying to keep us growing.
Yeah.
But so I just struggle with like, because templates, I just don't have no luck with them. Like we've tried the mom approach, we've tried just fitness and nutrition approach, like.
And I think this is now your approach. I think this is something that will massively help you because Jenny is, I think the thing is as well, it's for me, it's always been, I've always been naturally tall and slim. I've never had to do a shred 10 and lose weight. Yes, I get a lot of energy but people don't really care about that. Like bottom line, they don't really care what you look like from an energy perspective because you can't see it. And everybody knows I'm crazy anyway, so I'm always going to have energy. But when it comes to weight loss, I don't have that story. So
that's right.
With someone like Jenny, we've had to work on, and I've told her from day one, just be a product of the product and people will be attracted to you for that. And then we work in the mom side and the business side. But first you have to be a health advocate. Yeah. You have to be somebody that lives and breathes what we talk about. And I do think that's the kind of angle we've had to take on more. And if anything, I think you've been a person that you've realized that through, loving on people and connecting with them that way, like, yeah, sure, you might have found them from a cold prospect, and she's had to, I suppose, work harder on building that relationship. So I think it's funny. I agree with you 100%. Not all of your team are like you, and you also find people in your team that are completely different to you. And Jenny was kind of like the first, because obviously I think she's my first VF in like, oh my gosh, you're my first VF in over a year. So ever since I kind of got my like new team going, Jenny's my first VF. Which is a really big deal. So I think what you're saying is hugely important, finding out, with your team. And I'm like, I'm teachable, teach me, like all the time, because you never know.
Exactly.
So kind of like when you reach out to people, like how do you reach out to them? Do you just love on their profiles or like do you?
Yeah, be genuine. So if you see a post, like there is a girl and her, like I won't say her name, but she's in my friend. She's actually came to one of our events because she was invited by my downline, I think 2 down. And I loved on her and she was great. And so we connected and those 2 were like loving on her. And then I started seeing her posts. And so I connected with my downline and I said, okay, I'm seeing a lot of sick kid posts for this woman. What's going on? And they're like, well, she wants to do the shred. She wants to order shakes. And I'm like, who's talked to her about Children's Health Study? Great. She wants to lose weight. This woman needs the Children's Health Study. Like, that's just so I said, do you guys mind if I message her? Like, instead of doing a 3-way, I said, do you mind if I just message her and care on her a little more? And I said, I just opened up a message with her and I said, hey, so-and-so, I'm so excited that you're going to join us for the shred with the shakes. And because she was coming from Isogenics. And so I talked a bit about that. And I said, but I've noticed that your daughter's always sick. I said, my son used to be sick all the time. I'm like, so I know that the gummies would really benefit your family. Would you like to talk about that more? So where the other 2 girls were going shred route, I kind of slipped in and said, your daughter really needs these gummies and I just want to help. And now she's signing up for everything. So it's just looking for what they can need and how you can help them and making it relatable. So if you're a mom coming from the heart as another mom wanting to help moms, I have another girl that I went to high school with. She actually is a customer of another Juice Plus rep in another city, but she was airlifted to Children's Hospital down by me. Like, you need to be giving your daughter Juice Plus while she's in hospital because something really horrible had happened. And she's like, I didn't bring it. I'm like, I will come and bring you product because we need to put your daughter on the product while she's in hospital in critical condition. Like, she can take the capsules through her shakes, right? And so she's like, okay. And she's like, I should have signed up under you. She's only a customer. She can still sign up as me under a rep. She can make that decision. But my whole thing is I'm going to love on her either way, because if there's another rep in my territory that's talking to more people are going to hear about Juice Plus. So then they're going to get dripped on more. So if you hear about Juice Plus 3 times from me, you hear about Juice Plus 3 times from Karen, the 6th, 7th time, you're going to go, maybe something's to this. So the more people that are in the loop, the better. So we got to care on our sidelines just as much as we care on our own team.
Yeah, agreed.
Super, super, super important. Building those relationships all over the map. And it's great practice too, because there's no threat. They're not going to say no. There's somebody else's.
Unfortunately, I have to go, but it was a pleasure listening in and, learned a lot. Thank you so much, Kim, for inviting me. Awesome. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, awesome. That was so great, Kimberlea. Honestly, you have given me so many things, because for me, it has always been this, it from a team leader perspective, I suppose. And because I look up to Lauren so much, and obviously Lauren is, she's always treated me like a frontline ever since she kind of became, because Susie Mitchell used to be my upline, and then obviously she went corporate. So ever since Lauren has, I've always looked up to her and been like, right, okay, be more like Lauren. Like, be more like Lauren, be more bold, be more upfront. But then of course, when you have people come in your team that aren't like that, they're not programmed like that. Naturally, they're not. And like, I naturally am, like, I just naturally am. Yet it takes kind of like an elevation, of course, with all of us. Like, of course, I have days where I don't want to be like that, but the core of me essentially is similar to how Lauren's core is like that. Yet that's right. Because, I've had to learn, maybe the hard way, but also, in a good respect, how to kind of like treat, people in my team that aren't necessarily, they don't want to jump on a video call. And I haven't had this with my direct team, but or with any, I've never had this personally with a prospect where someone's not wanted to get on a 3-way call, but a lot of my team have had that. And I realized, well, actually, you're quite a shy person, and actually you're not very outgoing. So you're probably giving off that energy without really realizing. And then of course, if they're already like that, and then they're bringing in someone like me who's like, hiya, like, they're just going to go, oh my God, I can't deal with her. And I am too much for people, and it's knowing, your boundaries. So that helps a ton. That really, really does.
Yeah. I have a girl that signed up that's not on social media. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? My whole business is built on social media. I'm like, I don't know how to do not on social media. So that was an adjustment for me. But yeah, like, I've looked up to Lauren, and I've looked up to all these strong women. And I mean, this business is a personal growth business. I mean, you can start and join like me. I was like a single mom that was in her shell, scared to talk to people, scared to make new friends, scared to go places where I didn't know people, to now I'm hosting events in strange places all over the place, and I'm the speaker. And it's just like, whose life is this? But it's that growth that I've had in the year, and having those strong female role models. I mean, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Anybody. I was the girl who wouldn't have a birthday party because I was scared no one can show up. And I'm flying to Hatbox to talk to strangers. So it's a business that anyone can do. And the personal growth that you get from it is just incredible. Yeah,
it's true. Massively true. I agree. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we've been talking for an hour. I could talk to you all day. Amazing. But I know you have a hike to go and do. You're really living the mission, which I love and admire you for that. Thank you so much for being such an open heart and open spirit. If there's anything we can ever do as a team, whether it be me or Lauren or whoever, to help you out, for saying thank you so much, then I would love to be able to, give you that at least back as a thank you. So thank you so much. You have massively helped us.
Thank you.
The list as well with the group. I'd love to see how that works. And then, yeah, just massive thank you. This was amazing. As soon as I get the recording on YouTube, I will send it to you, and you can send it more to your team as well. So yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Yes, going to enjoy the sun.
Yeah,
Thank
enjoy
you.
it.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye, Kimberlea.
Bye.